Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. It's a pleasure as always. Here we are, August 18th. Great stuff going on. Got kids going back to school. Got people kind of winding up their summer, taking advantage of the last few days of the summer before school starts and stuff. Got some great things going on in my life with, obviously my one daughter started school. My son starts next week. My daughter's about to go off and do a service mission in Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand. She's taking off on the 29th of August for that. So lots of cool stuff going on in our family. So we're trying to take advantage of this time, make the most of it, because life is what you make of it, right? And we got to take advantage of the time we have together. Make sure our priorities are straight. Make sure we, doing the things we need to, spending time with family and loved ones and all that. And then, of course, we have our business, right? We have our home-based business with Nui Social and all that entails, and it's fun, and we love to be a part of it. And most of us have been a part of it for a while now, and we're sticking with it because we love the culture, we love the concept, we love the idea behind it, we love what the founders have put together, what the executive team and everybody else has designed for us. It's awesome. It really is awesome, what we're dealing with, what we've got, and I love the whole process. I do. Obviously, I would like for things to be easy, right? Who doesn't? I would like for to be able to do the get rich quick thing. I would like to be an overnight success, but we all know that anything that's worth having, everything that's worth doing, everything that's going to be long lasting is going to go through some struggle. It's going to go through growing pains. Um, we can't avoid that, right? It's true. Anything that comes too quickly, probably not worth it. Probably not. It's probably not going to be around long enough to put the effort into it. And it's something I've had to learn over the last 20 plus years of being in this industry. I love the industry. I love network marketing. I love what it stands for. I love the concepts that are behind it. I love that, it really does make it possible for, people to break free from linear income and find residual income. I love all that stuff. It's the only real way, right, to do it. I love what Eric Worre teaches about how it's a better way, right? It's not perfect, but it is better, and all that. I agree. I totally agree. And it's not that I drank the Kool-Aid or anything like that. No, I've experienced it myself. I finally got there, right? I was tenacious enough to get there. I was strong-willed enough to get there. And my wife was probably crazy enough to get there. But we did it, right? It took a while. It took a long while. I had to go through the process. I had to learn the skills. I had to fail a lot of times, right, to finally get there. I love that quote from Michael Jordan where he talks about how he missed the game-winning shot like a whole bunch of times, and he missed, the where things were depending on him, and he failed over and over again. But that's why he finally won, right? Because he stuck with it. That is the key to it all. If I had one thing I could share with people, it would be that. It would be the stick to it. It would be the perseverance, right? It would be the just never give up. It's what we learned from Rocky Balboa, right? That's why he's a champion, because he just took those punches and he just kept going. He didn't give up, right? That that is the key thing. That's what makes a champion. And every book that's ever been written about any champion is that they just never gave up. They just kept going until they did it. They finally did it. And I did that. I had the privilege back in 2014 to finally do that, to say I achieved my goal. I got there. I was able to quit my job and was making six-figure income full time doing networking and traveling and going to meet all kinds of cool people in different countries and stuff. Wow, it's awesome, right? It's awesome. You finally get there. And I remember years before that when in 2009, it's really when I got started, right? And I got started way before that in other things. I was dabbling in it. It was kind of a hobby. But when I really got serious about doing networking, it was in 2009. And I remember I joined a company and I thought it was great. It was for me because it was all about social media, and they were going to use Facebook and everything to promote it. And it was an up and coming product, a healthy energy drink and stuff. And I thought it was so cool. And so I joined, and it was $200, right? So it was like $150 plus the shipping and handling for this healthy energy drink. So at the end of the day, it was $200 a month to be part of this thing. And I remember thinking, wow, this is so cool. This is amazing, right? And I went and I was able to actually enroll a person, one person, right? And I thought, this is great. Now the comp plan asked that you get three. Okay. So, but you had to get three to actually make any money at all. Like before you got three, no, nothing, zero. There was no fast start bonus. There was, like if you just got one person, there was no residual, nothing. You had to get three or you were getting Zippo. Okay. So I was all proud of myself because I got one person. I went to one of the big meetings, right? And in this big meeting, they had like an ice sculpture, with the energy drink, and they had people there with their truck. There was one truck and it was all wrapped, in the logo and everything. They had a boat, like a big long, speedboat that had the logo, the business logo all across it and stuff. And it's just like hundreds and hundreds of people there. And I thought, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is so cool, right? And I was sitting there in a training that they were doing, and there was a guy up on stage, and he was probably the number one guy in the company. He was making $10,000 a month, 10 grand a month. And to me, that was mind blowing. Like, $10,000 a month. Holy cow. And I thought that was so cool. And he'd done it in, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months, something like that, right? Because it was a brand new thing, and it was just exploding, and people were signing up left and right and stuff. And so he was making all this money, and I thought, I want to do that. I want to do that. And as I'm sitting there in the audience, right, taking my notes, and he's talking about it, and he's talking about how, oh yeah, don't you wish that you could fire some of the people on your team because they're not producing and all these things. And I was like, I only have one person. I'm not going to fire my one person, but it was just crazy. And I had all the other people in there that were like nodding their heads, like, yeah, I wish I could just get rid of some of these people that aren't producing. And I'm like, give them to me, I'll take them. So there I was, 2009. Right, thinking this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and oh, this is amazing and stuff. And oh, okay, I'm excited, right? But I wanted to be them. I wanted to be that guy, right? There's another guy in my upline, and he was like sitting there talking to me, and yeah, I'm actually making, it was like $1,500 a month or something like that. It's enough to pay my mortgage. And I thought, oh, that is so awesome. He's making $1,500 a month. Ah, I thought that was so cool. I thought if I could make just enough to pay my mortgage, that would be so amazing, right? I thought it would be so cool. So I was excited. This is it. This is the one, right? And unfortunately, probably not even 5 months later, they were gone. A company, they were out of business. And I was like, really? and I never did ever make any money at it. I think I might have got a second person. I think so. But I never got my three. I never got my three. And it was sad, right? Because, 5 months at $200 a pop. Yeah, I spent $1,000. $1,000 on these energy drinks, right? If you think about it, do the math on it, it was like over $5 a can. $5 a can for this energy drink. Like, holy cow, it's crazy. But I was bitten by the bug. I thought it was going to work, and it didn't. But I was tenacious. I said, I'm not giving up. I want to find the next best thing, and I did, and I got in, and I found a mentor, right? So there's some key components that you need when you want to start actually having success in network marketing, right? If you have the dream and you want to make it work and everything, there's some key things. Number one, I'm going to just say it: you got to have the right company. Got to have the right company. Without the right company, you just spin your wheels. Holy cow! So, and I'm just going to be straightforward. I believe with all my heart that Nui is that right company. I really do. Um, if you're part of Nui, awesome. You've made the right choice. If you're just watching this for the first time, believe me, I've been through enough companies to know what makes a good company and what doesn't. Okay, and um, yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. What makes a good company is not the company that promises you that you're going to make all this money right away, and then doesn't deliver, right? And no, that's not going to work. It's not the company that looks like it's perfect, that has all the bells and whistles on it. No, because I've been there too. I'll just continue with my story. The next company I joined after that first one went away, I really thought it had everything. I mean, they had an investor guy that was putting in millions of dollars to do the infrastructure. They had an amazing office, right? And we went in there and they had the big logo on it and everything. And they had pulled over some master distributor guy that knew what he was doing, and he was ready to rock and roll. And they had this new version of the comp plan that looked like it was so good and everything, and they had this new product that looked like it was just going to blow everything away, and stuff. And so we started promoting that sucker, and oh yeah, this is so good, and blah, 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 bringing people in the office, showing them, doing webinars and everything. And it was a pre-launch, right? So we were just getting people going, getting ready and everything. And then, okay, the product's ready. Let's do this and get everybody buying the product and stuff. And basically, um, what happened was, because of my excitement and what I thought was going to happen, I was having some success, but they were banking all their success on Asia, right? They were trying to get into Japan, like immediately, and so they spent all their money. They spent all this money to try and get Japan going and everything, and they did. And, they flew a bunch of people over there and tried to get it going, and then all of a sudden, like probably 3 months after, the website was just shut off, and we went to the office and they closed their doors, and it was just gone. It's like no warning, zero warning, right? Everything looked like it was going okay, and the next day it was just gone, like no trace anywhere. What? Holy cow! And so, yeah, I've been there, guys. I know what it's like to fail, right? Like a Michael Jordan story. And but I was tenacious, and I'm going to find the next one. And finally, the third time was kind of the charm. Third time was where I actually got a mentor who taught me the right things. And I was able to take that company into Mexico, and it took about 3 years, but we got it going. It was stable. They were doing the right thing, and we were able to do that. And then finally from there, I graduated into where in 2014, that's when I was able to break free, right, and have that huge success I'd always wanted. But it took a while. It took a long while, with all my hopes and dreams, and going into debt, and putting it all on my credit card, and anyway, yeah, it took a long time. So I had to go through it the hard way, and my goal for all of you is to help you not have to go through the hard way. I want to be able to take the people that want to join my team and show them the path. They can learn from my experience. They can learn from everything I went through, and actually do it a little bit quicker. Obviously, I would, I want everyone to have their little taste of frustration, a little taste of failure, because you got to, right? You got to have that You got to have the little bit of failure, and and stick up for yourself, and learn how to have some posture and all that. But I don't want you to have to go through almost 20 years of sacrifice to finally make it. Right? That's too long. That's too long. So that's why, number one, the right vehicle, and I really do believe that Nui is that right vehicle for a few reasons, right? And then, of course, that a mentor. I'm hopeful that I can be a mentor, just like I was able to get a mentor who taught me the things I needed to know and how to do it and everything. I'm that's why I do these webinars, right? To teach and share experience and ideas so that you can also have success and be able to, well, as they say, to make 3 the new 30, right? Be able to do all of this in a matter of maybe a few years instead of decades, right? That's the goal. That is the goal. And I really do believe we can do it because of what they've put together at Nui, right? But believe me, I get it. If you're new in this and you're just barely trying to get your 3 people, I know how that feels. I do. I was there, yeah, and I get it. Okay, so what's neat is if I could do it, you can too. Okay, I didn't have any special skills. Well, and I guess I do speak Spanish, but you know what? Everyone's got their different talents and abilities and stuff. And I really do believe that everybody can do this, whether you speak Spanish or not. It doesn't matter, right? I was able to go into certain markets because of that skill, but it doesn't mean that there's others on my team that were able to do the same thing. They don't speak Spanish, so I'm not saying that was a that was the key component. No, not at all. It probably didn't hurt that every bit of talent that you can get and ability obviously is going to play a part, right? And it's going to help. But what it really comes down to is being tenacious, right? Being persistent, being constant, just doing it, right? You just got to do it. You just got to seriously get over your nervousness, get over your fear, and be open and believe. Have that faith that what we've got here is a good seed and it will give good fruit over time. All those things. It's a belief thing, right? If we can do that, if we can be based on love and belief versus fear and doubt, then we can do this because we have the right vehicle. There's no doubt in my mind about that because of what they've put together for us, price point wise, product wise, all of that. So now it really is just a matter of recognizing that the past, right, whatever's happened in the past is part of a process. And as the company itself develops and learns and grows, right, they change their offering. Just like Amazon. Amazon's a great example, right? When Jeff Bezos started selling books out of his garage, that's all he thought. I was just going to sell books online, right? But look what it turned into. It changed a lot, right? It changed and adjusted, and they had heartburn, they had issues, they had problems, right? Their whole process wasn't perfect, but they stuck with it and they got through it, and they innovated and they developed and they learned, right? And it was what we have today. I mean, that's been over 20 years, right? That's a long process to get to where they are. Same thing. And Google, all of them developed and acquired and learned. And what we know today is, we think, oh, it was an overnight success. Well, no, the saying goes, yeah, it took 20 years to become an overnight success, right? So that's what I'm saying here is we really need to be patient and really just stick with it, right? Give it a chance. As long as it's not dead, then the vision's still there, the ideas are still there, and the key is that the company itself is putting down that foundation that will make this real. Okay, make it real for everybody. So today's presentation, originally I was going to be on with Ed Terranova, and we were going to go through the 5 pillars, with the Big Shot Initiative and all that. But unfortunately, Ed didn't know that this webinar jam platform that we're using requires a computer. He was going to try and do it from his phone. That doesn't work. So we're going to excuse Ed today, and we're going to get him on next week. But for today, I had another presentation that I actually did this for my Spanish group just an hour ago, because they are going through some of that struggle, right, where of belief and recognizing that we have a good tree here, that it came from a good seed, and that now it's about to actually give fruit, right? And they're about ready to go into that harvest stage, right, or the reaping stage. So and we planted the seed, we've tried to cultivate it, we're trying to keep it safe. We're the other parable of the seed that Jim Rohn talks about is, and we'll probably do a training on this one in the future, but the idea of the parable of the seeds, right? And the seeds are all over, and some of them are strangled by the weeds, and others the birds come and eat them, and some are just in dry ground, so they kind of grow a little bit and die, but others fall in a good patch of ground, and so they grow and give fruit, right? Well, that's what we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. Some of us is cultivating those ones that fell in good dirt and helping them grow. And some of them, we've lost some people, we've lost for different reasons. But you know what? We're still here. The company's still here, and we have good seeds that are going to turn into something amazing. Now that they've put together the foundation, and as Darren likes to say, that this is not a fly-by-night thing. This is not just a little thing anymore, right? This is not something they're struggling to just figure out. No, they know now. The path is clear, the vision is clear, they know where they're going now. It's going to happen, right? Everything's coming together, but it does take time to implement it. Okay, so we're going to talk about that here in this presentation. So it's called The Law of the Harvest, and I'm going to share my screen. Great. Welcome, everybody, to today's presentation on The Law of the Harvest. My name is Jeremy Jenkins, and it's my pleasure to share with you some of the thoughts and ideas that I've had regarding the law of the harvest, which is a natural law. It's something that life itself has taught us, right? And at least it should have taught us. Anybody that that had a garden as they were growing up and helped, anyone that maybe grew up on a farm or something, we understand this, right? And unfortunately, today's society, it's kind of moved away from this, the whole law of the harvest concept. Today, we are kind of more, we want things instantly, instant gratification. The whole concept of, actually doing a home-based meal or home cooked meal even is foreign, right? I mean, I remember growing up and my mom would make dinner every night. To go out and eat, even fast food, to go to McDonald's was a rare occasion. That might happen, if that once a month. But we would, I would come home and my mom had spent, a couple hours at least preparing dinner, whatever it was, spaghetti or pork chops or whatever, right? We'd have an actual family meal that had been prepared at home. And nowadays, that it's hard to come by. And every once in a while we do it, right? Maybe on a Sunday dinner or something. But nowadays it's just instant gratification, and especially with technology and cell phones and everything else, the internet. We just expect stuff to be instant, right? With Netflix. I mean, I still remember, not even a few years ago, having to wait for my DVDs to come in the mail, right, from Netflix, and now thanks to technology, we can just on demand watch whatever I want right then. So the the world is changing, and I'm not saying that it's bad. That I enjoy my instant movies as much as the next guy, right? And so that's it's not inherently wrong or anything, but what is true is that there is a law of the harvest that's out there in nature, and it doesn't hurt to kind of remember that, right? To remember that some things that are instant are not good. Some things that come too fast probably don't last, right? And so we just want to be careful when we're dealing, especially with a home-based business, right? We want to make sure that it's going to actually last, that it's going to be something, if we're putting our time and effort in, that it's going to be something that's going to last forever. So the kind of the comparison I want to give is, for normal vegetables and things like that, right? It's a yearly thing, right? So we plant in the spring, whether we're planting corn or potatoes or carrots or something, and then we cultivate that over the summer, right? And then in the fall, we harvest, right? We get the fruits of our labor, and that's great. But it does require every year we go and plant again, right? And which is fine. But it's that whole concept. Yep, you got to plant, and then you got to take care of it. You got to put in the work. You've got to weed the garden, and you've got to water it and fertilize it and all that stuff, and then it will give you the fruit in the fall. Okay, and that's a good thing to teach kids and everybody else, right? That concept. But at the same time, we also want to have something that's going to last, right? So when you're dealing with something that's going to last longer, like a tree, okay, a fruit tree, apple tree, or things like that, they tend to take longer, right? So when you plant that seed, you've got to let it's going to grow into a little itty bitty thing, and it doesn't give you the fruit in the first year or probably in the second year, right? Usually with a fruit tree or a peach tree or some of these other kinds of trees, you're talking it's going to take 2 to 3 years before it's big enough to actually give you fruit, right? And then it takes a decade for it to get big enough to give you constantly the big fruit, right? And if another example of that, olive trees, right? If anyone knows anything about olive trees, holy cow, they take like 20 years before they start giving olives, right? So you have you'll have a father that plants the seed for an olive tree, and he'll teach his son, say, hey, check this tree out. This is going to be your tree because it's not going to do anything for 20 years, right? And so that's how they would do it. Those that cultivate olive trees, it's a generational thing, right, as they do that. And so that's what we have to understand. Our faith is like those seeds, right? We have to plant it. We have to see that it's actually doing something, and then as it does, we can say, oh, okay, I see that it's starting to go. I see that it's growing. I see that it's starting to be attractive, and I see that other people have done it, and they're getting the fruit, and so I believe in it, right? So I'm going to put forth the effort. I'm going to take care of my little seed and help it grow into something that's finally going to give me fruit. But it does take time, right? That is the key thing. It's time put in. Construction, same thing. Construction requires time, right? So if you assign that says Costco's coming soon, right? Well, you realize that they got to go put down the foundation, and they got to go put up the walls and put the roof on, and then they got to go finish it and everything, right? It takes time to do it. And if they didn't do the foundation correctly, right? If they didn't take the time to do all that right, then it could collapse and it wouldn't work. So that's what we need to understand. I know it's frustrating, and I hear it all the time, I need now money, right? I need to pay my bills, right? I need to be able to, take care of my family stuff. And that's good. Obviously, you got to do that, right? Family first and all that. And so what we have to do as networkers, right? People that are dabbling in this, is we have to decide, how are we going to take care of ourselves during those first few months or, maybe a year or whatever it's going to take before you can start making full-time income, right? And I love what Jim Rohn teaches about that. He calls it the magic of part-time. And so there's a whole thing you can look up on him and how he taught it, right? Where, hey, I'm making so much money part-time, right? How would you like to make this much money part-time? So you don't have to quit your job right away. You don't have to jump into this and actually think that you're going to make full-time income in the first 2 months, right? That's dangerous. That's dangerous because I've known people to do that in the past, where they went and they sold their car or something and to get the money to buy the big entry package to their network marketing business they're going to do. And when they realize it's going to take them 6 months to a year, then they're like, oh, uh-oh. And we need to be really, really careful how we present this, because not everybody has the same skill set. Not everybody is at the same level. And so, there's some people that are more experienced at it, some that can come in and right away, they know how to talk to people, they know how to build a team and everything, and so they can do it quickly. There's others that don't have that skill set yet, that haven't learned what they need to yet, and so to tell them, hey, you're going to become a millionaire overnight is dangerous, and it's hurtful, and it can ruin friendships and stuff. So just need to be really careful that as we're teaching people about these opportunities, that they realize that it does take some time, right? And all the results can vary, and so the magic of part-time. Hey, let's do this, part-time. Let's start talking about it, getting people involved in everything, and then eventually, right, it will turn into something that, yeah, I can now quit my job, right, and do this and be free, right? That's the ultimate goal, obviously. But yeah, we got to put that foundation down first. We've got to learn the skills. We've got to learn all the things we got to do. We got to get in the habits that we need to get into to make it actually work, and then we can finally achieve our dream, having that done. Okay, and it goes for the company itself as well. Right, the company itself has to go through that process, and so that's what we've been seeing. Right, the company has been building and adjusting and changing and growing, and so almost there. Now, the other example of this is the bamboo. Right, if you've ever seen or heard the story of the bamboo, it basically spends 5 years under the ground with no growth whatsoever upwards. Right, but in the 5th year, it grows over 80 feet tall. Okay, why? Why? What's it doing during those first 5 years? Well, it's putting down roots. That's what it's doing, right? You plant that bamboo tree, and for 5 years, you see nothing. There's no sign of life. But what it's doing is it's growing some roots super deep into the ground so that it can handle that 80 feet of growth in the first year, right? It's amazing. It's like literally it grows like a foot a day. It's just awesome, right? Just like and and so it's okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. If it didn't have those roots growing super deep for the first 5 years, then it would topple over, right? It would fall over. It couldn't handle um, being so tall. But because it did it, it now has a foundation, right? So, you know, have patience in your life. You're putting down those roots. You're building your foundation. Okay, you will get there if you take the time, have the patience. Be consistent. Right? Don't give up. All those things, and you will also be able to all of a sudden shoot up and have huge success. Quickly once you've created that foundation for yourself. Okay, and we have to understand the programming process. One of the things I get asked all the time, they're like, because I work in IT, right, in computers and support and all that, and so they ask me, Jeremy, why is it that programmers can never hit their deadline. Why do they give us an estimated date and then it just takes so much longer to get it done? What's the deal? Well, yeah, it's a process, right? It's the whole, okay, we're gonna plan it. We're gonna, is this what we want, right? But then we got to test it. We've got to check and see if there's any defects. We got to see if there's any bugs in it, all that stuff, right? And then we deploy it, and then we find out that, oh, this part didn't work, and so then we got to go back and squash that bug and everything. So it is a crazy process where sometimes one little thing thrown in there can make you go all the way back to the beginning and have to start over from scratch, and it's frustrating, right? Because especially when we're dealing with a home-based business and network marketing and everything, I mean, we're ready to go. We want to go. We want this to work, and we wanted it yesterday, right? But we have to understand that sometimes when you're building something brand new, you got to go through this process, right? Of development and testing and making sure it all works and giving estimated deadlines. But if you miss them, then understanding why, and that it's not because they're incompetent. It's not because they're trying to hurt us. It's because it's a process and it's something we got to deal with. And sometimes there's things that get thrown in the like a wrench gets thrown in the machinery, right? Government regulation happens, or products, markets change, things like that, and there's all the different variables that can happen. And so you got to constantly be adjusting and adapting and being flexible, right? I love the phrase, "Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape." It's a good phrase to remember. Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape. Um, we got to be that way. We got to be flexible. We got to be understanding. We got to be patient. We got to stick with it and understand processes, right? And missed launch dates happen all the time. It's not just in our industry. It's in every industry. There's certain things that happen, right? It's just the way it is. And so, whether it's building a house and they miss the deadline, you're trying to move in, which happened to me, or any other thing, yeah, we just have to be patient and believe that we have a good seed, and that the people behind it are really doing their best to build something for us, right? And as we co-create together, we can make sure that we're going to have the best result. So, programming process, yep. Let's just realize this is a process. Sometimes we got to just say, hey, yep, I'm doing this part time because it's not quite there yet, and we're getting there, right? In the meantime, we are able to participate. Maybe it's a limited, version of what is coming, what we know is coming, but still, we can take advantage of it and just understand sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer than we hoped. Okay, so what do we have? Why is this a good seed? Why can we have faith in this seed? Well, for $15 to $30 per month, you get your own franchise. It's as simple as that. Okay, you're getting a shopping portal, retail rewards. You're getting the whole core Call of Reach platform. You're getting Nui Education. You're going to learn all about blockchain and cryptocurrency and everything else. You get access to mining with Mintage Mining. And you get an amazing back office with a team building structure, an amazing comp plan, all of that. And that's what we have today, right? What are we going to have in the next few months? Even better, right? So much better. Lots of cool things coming out, that can't talk about yet, but they're coming. They're going to be awesome. But today, just today, $15, $30 per month, or $150 a year, whatever you choose, you can get your own franchise, right? It's all these cool things in it. Okay. So why is that so important? Really, what it comes down to is, the fact that in my example, right, my history, and over 20 plus years I've done it, What has been so frustrating is that, yes, I've had my hopes and my dreams, and I wanted to, have success, and I was able to do it finally, right? After so many years, just because, I had a mentor and I learned it all and everything. But the vehicle, even, when I did it, the vehicle was still not ideal, because the monthly on that, right? Monthly auto ship was still over $100. And it was so frustrating, because I would see how brand new people who didn't have my same skill set, who hadn't learned what I'd learned over, 15 plus years, they were failing. They were failing, they were frustrated, they were quitting, and they were calling me a scammer, and they were, bad mouthing the industry, and it was hurting people. We were hurting more people than we were helping. And that is not cool. That's not cool. When you're hurting more than you're helping, it's not good. And they, in the industry itself, they talk about, yeah, well, it's a better way, and it is. I agree, but still, it when it hurts people, that's not okay, right? That's when it's not good. So, if we're not being careful about, mentioning, hey, this is a part-time thing. Hey, where's the value in the product, right? How, and you're not making it accessible, then more people are going to come out hurt than not. And what I love about what we have here is they've taken away that pain point, because now you have something that has real value. Um, it's not that we don't like to spend money. Everyone likes to spend money on something of value, right? I'll spend money on my new Galaxy S8 phone that's expensive, because it's a cool thing, right? I love it. I love my phone, and and it's neat. It's technology and all that. We love to. Okay, I'll buy myself a brand new TV, right, or a new car, or something. Maybe women want to, they want to go buy a new outfit or whatever. We love to spend money. That's not the problem, right? It's just are you getting value for your money? That's the key thing. That's what matters, right? So, unfortunately, in most other network marketing companies, not all, some are, okay, but a lot of them, you're not getting the value for your money. When they ask you for, $150 to $200 a month, wow. You have to ask yourself, are you really getting $200 worth of value? That's up in the air, right? There's a question mark on that, because most people are not, and and that's sad. So, with what we've got here, $15 to $30 a month, you're getting your own franchise. I honestly think, yeah, that is valuable, right? A shopping portal, a whole, you know, ecosystem with core call and reach. Nui Education, learning every single week. They're going to, give us stuff to learn on. Mining with Mintage Mining, be able to put our money to work for us, with that whole mining concept. Having the back office and stuff, where other companies are charging $25 a month just for their back office, right? And we get it as part of the whole deal. So it's awesome. And then with our comp plan that says, yes, you can not only join for $15 a month or $30 a month, but if you get 3 people involved, you are better than free. You are now breaking even. Your company, your little franchise is now profitable. It's now in business, right? That's awesome. And most companies can't offer that, right? Or if they do offer the 3 and it's free concept, it's still $150 plus, right? Which most people are like, yeah. So, we've got an amazing, amazing opportunity here that has taken away the obstacles. That said, okay, the concept behind this is a good seed, and we can start seeing how that seed is going to give us fruit. In the Bible, in Matthew 7:16, it says, "By their fruit you shall know them." Okay, we have a lot of fruit going on. Nui is not something that's fly by night. It's not something that is going to just be a one and done kind of thing. It's something that's being set up for years to come. Everything it's based on from blockchain, to everything Symmetry is producing, everything Mintage is doing. It's long term, and you can see it that it's a serious company with serious goals and vision, um, serious backing. It's awesome, right? Debt-free company, all that stuff. So you can know by their fruits. Um, that sometimes it take longer than we hope. Yeah, but we've talked about that, right? That's process. However, we have something that really will change the lives of people, right? You've been faithful, you've made the right decision standing with this company through some challenging times, right? Your lives are about to change with everything that's coming in the next little bit here with the launching of the blockchain to the world and all the collar rigs getting involved and other products that we won't name here that are coming. Success comes from attraction and retention. Nui's products are attractive and they're universal and they pay. Okay. Nui's price point is attractive, easy, and accessible. So when the people taste the fruit, they will know this is a good seed. Okay. Um, it just is. It just is. $15 a month price point, being able to be better than free with 3 people on your team and being able to make money, just one person. You're going to get that commission, right? $5.50. Or if they're on the $30 plan, $11. It's awesome because they're winning, they're getting value, and it's inexpensive. And because they're getting value and it's inexpensive, they're going to stick with it. And so now you're going to win. You are going to now have results. You're now going to have that fruit that you've always wanted, and it's going to continue. You're not going to battle with people quitting. You're not going to battle with attrition, right? People giving up because they're finding value. They're going to stick with it. It's easy, it's accessible, it's cheap, and you're going to have true retention, which leads to true duplication because people have a good result, and so they spread the word and they talk good about it, and it just goes from there. So, yes, we have an amazing opportunity here. It's awesome. But I want to end with this. Jim Rohn, amazing man. Good messages. Please read his stuff anytime you get a chance. He said, life responds to deserve and not to need. It doesn't say, if you need, you will reap. It says, if you plant, you will reap. The guy says, I really need to reap. Then you really need to plant. That's how it is. It's not a matter of, oh, I need to make money with Nui Social. I need this. No, it's deserve. You need to deserve it. You need to go plant some seeds. You need to go talk to a whole bunch of people. You need to, now that we have the free option, you need to go spread the word and sign up as many free people as you can. Use the freemium model. What Angry Birds and Candy Crush and all these other game companies have done, the freemium model, right? What McAfee and Norton and all these others did with their free antivirus, right? It's get a whole bunch of free out there, and then some of the people will upgrade. Some of the people will spend money to pay for their upgrades in Candy Crush so they can pass more levels, right? That is the idea. Get it out there, spread the word, and even if only 1 out of every 10 actually does anything, right? Eventually that will turn into something huge. So that's my message. Go plant those seeds. Go sow those seeds everywhere. Everywhere. Just get the word out. Get people in for free. You never know. Some will land on dry ground. Some will get strangled by the weeds. Some will get eaten by the birds. But some will land on good soil and become a fruitful tree. that is my message to you. Take advantage of what we have. There is no doubt in my mind we have the best opportunity out there because of the way it's structured, because of what it offers, because of how universal it is. It's awesome. It's perfect, right? And people just need to see that. And the only way they're going to see it is if you tell them. So, my friends, go out there, do this, plant those seeds, and we will see each other in the harvest. And that is my desire for each and every one of you, that we can all be super successful and achieve our goals and dreams. So with that, I'll let you get back to your Saturdays. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.